Don't make someone a priority in your life when they don't do the same for you. Nothing is permanent. Don't stress yourself too much, because no matter how bad the situation is, it will change. Your value is not determined by someone else's inability to see your worth. Your enemies will often tell you the truth because it hurts, and your friends will often lie because it doesn't. Live life the way you want to live it, because even people who care for you can't be with you every step of the way. Danger is very real, but fear is a choice. Beneath the pain is a lesson, beneath the sorrow is hope, and beneath the struggle is courage. When it seems all is lost, you find what you really need. Most people are only nice when things don't matter. Not everyone is meant to be in your future. Some people are just passing through to teach you lessons in life. You must be big enough to admit your mistakes, smart enough to learn from them, and strong enough to correct them. Letting go is very hard, but it's the best thing to do. Contentment is not the fulfillment of what you want, but the realization of how much you already have. Life is about balance. Be kind, but don't let people abuse you. Trust, but don't be deceived. Be content, but never stop improving yourself. You may be the only person left who believes in you, but it's enough. Life just gets so much better when you stop taking things personally. No matter how nice or respectful you are, some people will still talk bad about you behind your back. Whatever is causing you worry or pain right now won't cause you worry or pain forever. Things change with time, and it will pass. Never take someone's feelings for granted. You never know how much courage it took to share them. If you aren't confident, fake it. It will come. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. Expectation always hurts, so expect less or no expectations from others. The people who say you can't and you won't are usually the ones scared that you will. Don't set yourself on fire to keep others warm. If you expect the world to be fair with you because you are fair, you're fooling yourself. That's like expecting the lion not to eat you because you didn't eat him. Worrying only means you suffered twice. Don't be afraid of a shadow. It just means there's a light nearby. Just because you hate this chapter doesn't mean you'll hate the book. If it can be fixed, why are you complaining? If it can't be fixed, why are you complaining? The trouble is, you think you have time. Life can only be understood backward, but it must be lived forwards. You don't notice your progress in life because you are always raising the bar. Let go or be dragged. You'll ruin your life trying to make everyone happy. If you have more than 3 priorities, you have none. Knowledge is knowing that a tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is not putting it in a fruit salad. People don't get what they deserve. You aren't always responsible for the first thought you have, but you are responsible for the second one. Never be so kind you forget to be clever, and never be so clever you forget to be kind. Your mind gives up a lot faster than your body. A calm sea will not make you a skilled sailor. Waiting for change while not doing anything for it is like waiting for the train at a bus stop. If you find yourself repeatedly questioning whether or not something is right for you, the answer is usually no. At some point, you will realize no one else has a say in your life unless you let them. When you work for someone else, you have the right only to labor, not to the fruits of your labor. We have 2 lives, and the second begins when we realize we only have one. The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. Nothing in life that is worth having comes easy. Everything can be taken from a man, but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. It's possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. That is not a weakness, that is life. You're going to make a lot of people mad doing what's right for you. You can't cross the ocean until you lose sight of the shore. It's easy to fool someone. It's hard to convince them that they've been fooled. Any thought you have about the future is a delusion. Resentment is like taking poison and waiting for the other person to die. There are a lot of things worth caring about. You can either be a negative or positive person in life, but only one will get you somewhere. Before you speak, let your words pass through 3 gates. Is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? Be afraid, but do it anyway. It takes a long time to realize how truly miserable you are, and even longer to realize it doesn't have to be that way. You will never remember the days and nights you stay home and do nothing. Courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes it is a quiet voice at the end of the day saying, "I will try again tomorrow. That mountain you've been carrying, you were only supposed to climb." People often confuse stress with responsibility. Don't cling to a mistake just because you spent a lot of time making it. Someone once told me the meaning of hell on your last day on earth: the person you became will meet the person you could have become. It is not a lack of time, it is a lack of priority. What would you do if you weren't afraid? There are 2 paths you can go by, but in the long run, there's still time to change the road you're on. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. The reason you want to be better than someone else is the reason why you aren't. Embrace stress as the opposite of apathy. Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around, you could miss it. Everything outside of this moment is just imagined. If you stop seeing the world in terms of what you like and what you dislike and saw things for what they truly are in themselves, you would find a great deal more peace in your life. We are all the bad guy in someone's story. The only person who's ever going to remember your hard work is you. Not this company, not your boss, only you. It's not worth killing yourself over a company that'll replace you in 2 days if you're gone. The people who mind don't matter, and the people who matter don't mind. Keep breaking your heart until it opens. Remember when you wanted what you currently have. Be the person you needed when you were younger. When you do things right, people won't be sure you've done anything at all. If you are unhappy, you are doing something wrong. Be not afraid of moving slowly, be only afraid of standing still. Sometimes a hypocrite is nothing more than a man in the process of changing. The only time you should look into someone else's bowl is to make sure they have enough. Given the choice between being right and being kind, choose kind. Someone's opinion of you doesn't have to become your reality. The things you own end up owning you. Speak your mind even if your voice shakes. Experience life, do not carry expectations on how it should be. One day or day one you decide. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Youth is happy because it has the capacity to see beauty. Anyone who keeps the ability to see beauty never grows old. The past is just a story we tell ourselves. Every person alive hits a crossroads in life when you have to let go of the past and forge ahead into something new. The only sad thing would be clinging to the past once it's out of reach. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Honesty without kindness is brutality. Kindness without honesty is manipulation. They've promised that dreams can come true, but forgot to mention that nightmares are dreams too. There are 2 ways to live your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle. The other is as though everything is a miracle. If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. You train people how to treat you, unconsciously or not. I've had a lot of worries in my life, most of which never happened. To realize that you are not your thoughts is when you begin to awaken spiritually. The world is a tragedy to those who feel, but a comedy to those who think. You are either part of the problem or part of the solution. Never attribute to malice that which can be adequately explained by stupidity. Fairy tales are more than true, not because they tell us that dragons exist, but because they tell us that dragons can be beaten. Never go to the past, not for happiness, not for justification, not for excuses. The world is what it is, you are what you are. Things are only impossible until they are not. Just because you got away with a bad decision doesn't make it a good decision. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who was actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood. It's not your fault things are the way they are. There are more things likely to frighten us than to crush us. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Anger is an acid that can do more harm to the vessel in which it is stored than to anything on which it is poured. Fake love is mighty convincing in a world where real love is mighty rare. Whoever fights can lose, whoever doesn't fight has already lost. We live longer when we are too busy living. The point of the argument is not to defeat each other, but to understand each other. Life is 10% what happens to us and 90% how we react to it.